Tonight is Tuesday, April 19th, and this is the Henderson Board of Education meeting. Can I get a motion to open the meeting, please?
Motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. At this time, we will be moving into our executive session. The executive session is for the purpose of collective negotiations under the Taylor Law, medical, financial, credit, or employment history of a particular person or corporation, or matters leading to the appointment or employment history of a particular person or corporation, or matters leading to the appointment or employment or promotion or demotion or discipline or suspension or removal of a particular person or corporation. Can I get a motion to move into exec, please?
Motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
For the public, we will be back at approximately 7:30 p.m. this evening, and we'll see you soon. Good evening. Tonight is Tuesday, April 19th, and this is the Henderson Board of Education meeting. Can we all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The board has recently left their executive session. We're now back in public session. And can I get a motion to approve the agenda as stated, please? So moved. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Do you want to do the recognition before the consent agenda? Okay, so we're going to flip the agenda just a teeny bit, and we're going to do our recognition of our art department before we do our consent agenda. Very excited to have our teachers here.
Yes, I'd like to invite up Logan Krause, who is one of our art teachers, who is at Blue Mountain Middle School, and she's going to fill the board and our public in on part of the art show tonight, but some of the decisions that were made to bring the art show back here to the Free Library after a brief hiatus, and perhaps fill us in on some things we missed, because typically this art show is full of kids and parents and a whole lot of energy and activity, and we would be really hot and sweaty, but they made some decisions to spread it out a little bit differently. So Logan, I'll let you take it. Thank you.
Well, thank you for coming and joining us to see Waves of Creativity, our K-12 art show. And the Henderson School District Art Department has been putting on this show for many, many years. The last 2 years we were unable to do it because of COVID restrictions, and we had done digital exhibits. And then this year we brought the exhibit back, but made the decision not to have the reception the way we have, because when we were making that decision, COVID had very much reared its head again. And so we did something a little bit different with this year. We did a social media blitz where we created videos of all the different exhibits that have been on Facebook. We invited parents to come in, not all at the same time, but spread throughout so they can come and visit their students' artwork. So I'm going to introduce Jamie Ashlaw, who is the newest member of the high school art department. He's going to tell you a little bit more about the art show, and then we have some high school students that are going to talk to you tonight about their experiences in the art department.
Hi, my name is Jamie Ashlaw. I guess I'm the newest art teacher, although I've been here for 3 years, and officially have the worst timing ever. My first year was our shutdown, and this is the first time I've been able to be a part of this art show, and it's really great to be able to hang art on the wall and have people come and look at that. So thank you very much. So one thing we wanted to point out, on the screen to my left, we have some digital portfolios that we do in the middle school and the high school, and we are en route to bring that K through 12 at some point. And this is something that you can go through. Students post their own work to assignments that the teachers make for them. So it's a way to track their artwork well for years. And if it is eventually K through 12, which it will be, you'll be able to see everything from start to finish. So you can see lots of middle school stuff. You can see a lot of the animation and things that the middle school is doing right now, and that's something that everybody should check out. So thank you very much for taking a look at that. We do have, I think, 1 or 2 students that are here that are going to talk about their portfolio and maybe some of their experiences in our program at school. I'm not sure. I think they're both here. I'll just read the first name that's on my list. So Maddie McKinley is here. If you want to come on up. I'll give the podium to you. And then when you're done, Sage Wickenbaum can come on up. I got the thumbs up.
Hi, I'm Maddie. Growing up in an artistic household, art has always been a part of my life. Since I could pick up a crayon, I've been drawing and expressing myself through visual art. Today, the art courses here are my only escape from the chaos of 11th grade. I've used the skills learned here through the art programs offered to draw and paint murals in local pantries and represent Henderson in many art contests. These last few months of junior year consists of the SAT, Regents, finals, and AP exams, and through it all, I still look forward to creating a portfolio. After the past 2 years, nothing has felt better than walking into the art rooms at school, and I'm looking forward to where this passion will lead me. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sage. As I headed into my junior year after our post-apocalyptic version of an underclassmen experience because of COVID, I knew I needed some stability as I continued through my high school career. So for me, I found my peace in art. As I look back on my elementary school years at Furnace Woods, I remember going to the art room like every morning to put all the stools down wherever I could, just stuff that meant that I could stare at the pretty paints and glitter in the art room and look at all the fun colors. And then at Blue Mountain, I remember my first art show. I, along with all the other anxious 12-year-olds, watched as our first pieces that we really poured our heart and souls to were on display. In my first high school art class, we were pretty much taught entirely through the Zoom classroom, and I appreciated those 40 minutes so much because they gave me the time to sit and focus on my charcoal or my oil pastels or my markers and nothing else. Today, I work to build my portfolio for college, and Miss Nash continues to remind me why I love art. And that's because it's my escape from the real world. As I escape into my thoughts and creativity, I get to make something that brings myself and others so much joy. Okay, so then what Miss Nash is going to be clicking on. Currently, we're working on our first create your own portfolio piece, because normally how art classes work is that we get an assignment that we have to follow their guidelines. But as we become seniors in high school working for AP Art, we get to make our portfolios entirely from scratch with no guidelines. So since I'm in portfolio prep, like advanced drawing and painting, she gave us a few ideas on what to work with. So mine was combining 2 paintings into 1. So this is my digital idea, which I wanted to draft out before I used acrylic paint. So it's gonna be a canvas with the muscles of the face, and then a clear film on top with everything else. So this is going to be my first piece for my college stuff, hopefully.
Well, thank you to our talented art staff. We've been, this is one of our favorite meetings each year, to get us, the board, out of the typical setting and engage with our staff and our students, and this is such a profound walk through the trajectory of students from when they start as early as kindergarten and next year pre-K, all the way through exactly what Sage and Maddie were talking about on the cusp of becoming seniors, and perhaps looking at art as a university, to study at the university level and maybe even a profession. So this is one of the few opportunities we have to, in a short period of time, watch students progress. And we're just so blessed to have you guys put this together. We know it's a lot of effort and a lot of hard work and hand-wringing and making sure people follow deadlines and get their work in on time, but this is fantastic. And for those of our teachers and those art professionals, this is what a real gallery looks like, and it's great that we can replicate that here. So thank you all.
Thank thank you very much for coming. For the students who are here, if you'd like to join us for the rest of our meeting, that's excellent. It won't be as exciting as the beginning portion. If you have homework you'd like to do or dinner you need to eat, feel free to.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so that will bring us to our consent agenda. Does anybody have anything they'd like to pull from the consent agenda this evening? All right, then can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda as stated? Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We do have two items that were previously removed from the consent agenda. One is a donation for $500 for the Frank G. Lindsay Elementary School. Christine Schuster has made a donation of $500 for which it was made possible through the Bank of America Charitable Foundation for the Frank G. Lindsay Elementary School. Thank you very much, Christine, for thinking of us and for that generous donation. The second donation is $849 for the Barbara Katzenstein Scholarship Fund. The Office of Special Education has received donations in the amount of $849 to be utilized to pay for partial summer camp funding for students with significant handicapping conditions. Thank you again for that incredibly generous donation. Can I get a motion to approve these two donations, please?
So moved.
Can I get a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Now, bring us to our superintendent's report.
Yes, a couple updates. Princeton plan update. Want to remind folks that before break, we released some draft transportation schedules. So again, if you have any questions or concerns or want to learn more about bus stops, please make sure you give the transportation folks a call. I know that they've been doing some Q&As with parents and helping them feel a little bit better about the proposed transportation schedule changes for next year. And also, perhaps most importantly, the principals will begin their meet and greet meetings tomorrow. The schedule of meet and greet meetings, both in person and virtual, are online. If you are interested in participating in an in-person meeting, we ask that families sign up just so we can have an idea of who to expect, not even who to expect, how many things to expect for parking, and make sure we have enough ample space for everyone inside the school. So that's a really important milestone for us to hit is to now create the opportunity for parents of children of next year to engage with their principal of next year to learn a little bit more about their vision and values and what the schedule will look like, and supervision and specials and lunch and all of those things that we take for granted that might be a little bit different, that certainly can create some questions and even some anxieties going into a new environment. So each school, each principal, I believe, has at least 5 or 6 meetings scheduled. They kick off tomorrow, so we hope that families can make it. In terms of the next update is pre-K. We received some really good news last week when the state approved the budget. We received additional pre-K aid. That's a good thing. We don't know what the aid can be used for. Margaret's over there giggling because we're really at a loss. The district received about $200,000 more in pre-K aid, but no one seems to know how we could use those dollars. And that's, I think, being ironed out between the governor, the Senate, the Assembly, and the State Education Department. We believe one of 3 options exists. One is that the original $5,200 per pupil will be increased. Second option is that $5,200 per pupil will remain, but we could include more students, which really is no benefit to us because of the cost to educate each child is well exceeds $5,200, or that those additional dollars could be used for set aside to partner with pre-K outfits that already exist in the community. So we're excited that the government and elected officials are supporting pre-K, but it's one of those things where I think the decision was made before the policy was written, and once we have more information, we'll share that with everybody. But that is that's the most significant change in our budget from when we met 2 weeks ago until when the the governor signed up on the budget last week. So once we have an update, we'll make sure we report back. And the last update I have is sort of on the heels of what we heard from our art teachers today about getting back to normal and being able to revisit some old standards. The elementary PTAs, all three of them, are going to have a spring fair this spring. And they are lined up on various Saturdays in late May, ending in early June, so please check the district calendar. They're very, very excited to engage with the community in person, outside. There are bouncy houses and all sorts of games and food that's really not good for you, but at that time of year it will be glorious to eat and just to be with folks in person. So please check the district calendar, or if you are related to any of the PTAs, I know that they're still planning and talking about it and putting finishing touches on it. So I know I'm excited to attend, and that will really be a great way to end the year since they haven't been able to have those fairs in the last couple. So we're excited that took us a while to get back to normal, but that's another signal that we're on the right path. I'll leave it at that.
Joe?
Sure.
I think you're holding forums as well for the budget.
Oh, yes. Yes, good reminder. Toward the end of the week, we're going to communicate to the public 8 different budget forums for folks to learn a little bit more about the budget, to go an inch wide and a mile deep. There's no set agenda or presentation. It's really a roundtable, a Q&A with the community. 4 of the meetings will be held in person right here. We're partnering with the Free Library, and 4 of the meetings will be virtual. Basically, we're going to have 2 meetings a month, or 2 meetings a week, starting next week, leading all the way up to the day before the budget. So thank you. Good reminder.
Anybody else? All right, that'll bring us to our first presentation, or discussion, which is our Boces Board Election and Administrative Budget Vote. Every year we have this meeting on a Tuesday because all of the districts in our region are doing their Boces board election on the same night. It all needs to be done on the same day. The board has had an opportunity to review the Boces summary and budget for this year, and they have 2 people running for the board of Boces as well, and there are 2 spots open, so they are uncontested. And what the board needs to do now is to vote on the budget and the trustee candidates. Does anybody have any questions on this before we work for discussion?
You just said I've worked with Frank Schnecker quite a bit, the Westchester Public School Boards Association. He's a really good candidate to have for this. Yeah.
We're cooking 2 of them, right? So
Yeah, 2 spots.
So do you just need a motion for the vote, or
I'm sorry?
do you just need a motion for us to move forward with this? Or?
I think so. I was just making sure there weren't any more
Oh, okay.
comments. Corey, you're way down at the end of the table. Do you have any comments?
No, all good.
Okay. All right, very good. So can I get a motion to approve the budget? So Boces budget. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor? And can I get a motion to approve Tina McKay and Frank Schnecker as our board candidates? Thank you. Can I get a motion? Thank you. And a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Excellent. All right. So moving right along, that will bring us to our final budget review, and then we need to approve our budget. That's the school district's budget, not the Boces budget.
So Enrique is going to walk us through our budget. I would normally say it's updated as he provides us updates every other week. There usually are some moving parts, but there are no moving parts from his last presentation 2 weeks ago. So he's going to walk through our budget, our cap, some of the line items in terms of revenue and expense, and then at the end, we will need the board to hopefully approve our budget so we can put it forward to voters and start communicating. So with that, I'll turn it over to Enrique.
Good evening, everyone. On page one, I just want to remind you how we started. We started on January 20 with a preliminary budget of 86.60 million. Today, we're going to ask the board to vote for an 86.634308 compared to a budget from last year of 84,300. Back then, the increase was 2,300,000. Today, we're asking for an increase of 2,333,000, and that's an increase of 2.8% compared to last year. Tax levy, originally, we were talking about $50.8 million. Today, we're asking the board to approve a $50 million budget compared to $48 million last year. That represents an increase of 3.2% in our levy. On the cap, the New York State cap is 2%, even though inflation was much higher than the 2%, actually 4.7. Our cap is 15.2. So our cap is $61 million compared to $53 million last year, an increase of $8 million. But as I said before, our proposed tax levy is $50 million. And finally, we got our preliminary budget. State aid is increasing about 33%. Boces is increasing about 17%, and then we have other income, sales tax, transfers, fund balance, and an increase of 57%, pilots an increase of 61%, and cessation fund an increase of 15.4% to get to a non-property tax revenue of 36.6 compared to 35.8 last year. Our tax cap, we spoke about it. The only portion that we haven't talked about is the contingent budget. If we were to go to contingent budget, we will need to reduce our budget by $1.5 million or 3.1% of the levy. So we will need to cut a substantial amount of money. That's it. So now it's up to the board to decide if they want to vote for the resolution so we can put it for vote on May 17. Therefore, it says resolved that the Board of Education of the Henry Hudson Central School District be authorized to expend the sum of $86,634,308 during the fiscal year of 22-23 and general tax levy thereof.
Okay, thank you. Does anybody have any last minute questions before we vote on the resolution? All right, so just to remind the public, as Enrique just said, we are not approving the budget tonight. We are approving an amount to put forward to the voters to decide on their school budget for this year. There's been a lot of work that's gone into this budget, and we've been able to really hold the line pretty well. So can I get a motion to approve the resolution as stated?
So moved.
Can I get a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. That brings us to our first audience comments on public agenda items. For the speakers, each speaker should sign in with the district clerk prior to commenting. When called, each speaker should step up to the podium and state their name and affiliation, if applicable, prior to starting their comment. Letters, petitions, or other written materials should be handed to the district clerk. Each speaker is permitted 3 minutes for their comments and must be recognized by the board president. All comments must be directed to the board. The board will listen to comments but will not necessarily debate or discuss items. Operational matters will be directed to school administrations for handling. The board is not permitted to address personnel, or individual student matters in open session. The board may limit repetitive comments in order to give time to others wishing to speak, as well as to maintain meeting efficiency. And the board expects comments to be made without interference from the audience and in a civil manner. Carmen, do we have any speakers signed up this evening?
We do not have any speakers signed up for this evening.
We do not have any speakers this evening, so that will bring us to our next agenda item, which is our committee reports. Does anybody have a committee report? The school was on break last week, so there has not been a lot happening between our two meetings.
I just wanted to kind of catch people up on the open meetings law update. I don't know if people have heard or not yet, but there was over the break, there was a New York State School Boards Association did a budget recap since the budget was passed. And part of that was changes to the open meetings law. So what's happening is that we will no longer be required to disclose our location when we're meeting remotely. That the emphasis should be on having majority of the board meet in person with occasional, they call it significant or unexpected factor events that would allow you to meet remotely and a particular board member to meet remotely. And so those significant or unexpected factors include things like childcare or illness. They're still defining them exactly, but definitely those two things are in the realms.
So this is for the individual trustees?
Individual trustees, right. This would be an individual trustee because what's going to happen is an individual trustee would have the ability of meeting remotely, but the majority of the board needs to be in a physical place where they would be in person.
Okay. And that would be noticed to the public.
And that would be noticed to the public, right, but not the address of the person meeting remotely. Okay. The board would need to adopt a resolution to authorize participation of people remotely in those kind of situations. And we will need to work on what that resolution needs to include. And I'm sure there'll be things with the lawyers and everybody else to determine exactly how that will happen. When there's a state or local disaster, the entire board can meet virtually if the board deems it necessary. So that's another nice thing. And then the other thing to be aware of is that the extension of the open meetings law has been extended until June 9th. So we can continue to meet fully virtually if there's a need between now and June 9th. Without, yeah. So, I know we've worked really hard to make some of these things happen and to encourage the process. So I just wanted to give you all an update.
And this was hot off the presses, right?
It was, yeah.
New information as of today.
Do we know when it'll be effective?
It's my understanding, Bill, was effective with the approval of the budget.
Right.
So it's effective now.
But we can't do it until we, as a board, we make the resolution.
Right, but we have until June 9th because the old rules are still applying until June 9th.
Correct.
And that gives the Committee on Open Government time to sort of refine this and tell us more specifics of what needs to happen to make it actually effective for us. It's exciting.
That's excellent.
Great news.
And that is one of the things that our board decided to advocate for. So good work. Anybody else have any new business or board comments? All right. That will bring us to our second audience comments section on non-agenda items. Carmen, do we have anybody signed up for non-agenda items?
We do not have anybody signed up.
Okay, no comments for non-agenda items this evening either, which brings us to the end of our meeting. This is a very short one this evening. Can I have a motion to close the meeting, please?
So moved.
Can I get a second? All in favor? Aye. Have a good evening. We will be meeting again in 2 weeks.